Genesis 10. This is the report about Noah's sons Sem, Ham, and Japheth and their families. After the deep water went away, they all had children themselves. Japheth's family. These are the sons of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. These are the sons of Gomer: Ashkenaz, Riphat, and Togarma. These are the sons of Javan: Elisha, Tarshish, the Kittim, and Rodanim. These people lived by the sea. They lived in the groups. Each group went to live in a different place. Each group spoke its own language. Ham's family. These are the sons of Ham: Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. These are the sons of Cush: Seba, Savila, Sabta, Lama, and Septeka. These are the sons of Lama, Seba, and Deban. Cush was the father of Nimrod. Nimrod grew into a great soldier on the earth. The Lord helped Nimrod to be a great hunter. That is why people say, like Nimrod, a great hunter that the Lord helped. The first of Nimrod land were Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria. This is where he built Nimweb, Rehoboth, Il, and Calah. He also built Resen. Resen is between Nineh and Calah, which is a large city. Mizraim was the father of Rudith, Anamite, Lehabite, Neptuhite, Patrasite, Calcerite. That is where Philistines came from, and Caphatorite. Canaan was the father of Sidon, who was born first. Canaan was also father of the Hittites, Jebusite, Amorites, Girgashite, Hivite, Arkite, Sinite, Arvadite, Jemanratite, and Hamathite. After some time had passed, the Canaanite families separated to different places. The land of Canaan went from Sidon to Gilgal as far as Gaza. It went to Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Jebarim as far as Lasha. These are all descendants of Ham. They lived in groups in their own part of the land. Each group spoke their own language. Shem's family. Shem also had sons. Shem was Japheth, the older brother, or the son of Eber, and descendant of Sem. These are the sons of Sem: Iram, Ashahar, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. These are the sons of Aram: Uz, Ho, Gedar, and Meshet. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah. Shelah was the father of Eval. Ebal had 2 sons. He called one Plague. When he was alive, people began to live in different places on the earth. So he called him Peleg. He called the other son Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almodad, Shelep, Hajarmaves, Zerah, Hadaram, Ujal, Dikala, Obal, Abimael, Seba, Uriah, Haviara, and Jabab. All these were the sons of Joktan. The land where they lived went from Mesha to Separ. This is the land with hills in the east. These are the descendants of Sem. He lived in groups in their own parts of the land. Each group spoke their own language. All these people are descendants of Noah's son and their children. They went to live in different parts of the earth, and their children became different nations. This happened after God covered the earth with water, and then the water went away. Genesis 11. The Tower in Babel. At this time, everyone who lived on the earth spoke one language. They used the same words. People moved to the east. They reached a large flat piece of land called Shinar. They stayed there to live. They said to each other, "We should make bricks and cook them until they are hard." These people used bricks instead of stones to build the houses. They used tar to hold the bricks together instead of cement. They said, "Let us build a city to live in. We should also build a very tall tower. The tower will go up into the heavens. Then we will always be famous. If we do that, we will not have to separate and go to live in different places on the earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower. He saw that the people had started to build them. The Lord said, "Because they all speak the same language, they are able to do this. If they can do this together, they may decide to do whatever they want. Now, we must go down to them. We must make their language become confused. Then they will not be able to understand each other." So the Lord separated the people from one another. They went to live in different lands all over the earth. They stopped building the city for themselves. That is why people called the city Babel. It was because the Lord confused all the people of the world, and He gave them different languages to speak. From that time, the Lord separated the people from each other so that they lived in different places all over the earth. Sam's family. This is the report about Sam and his family. 2 years after the deep water went away from the earth, Sam was 100 years old. He became the father of Arphaxad. After Arphaxad was born, Sam lived for 500 years. He had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad was 35 years old, he became the father of Shelah. After Shelah was born, Arphaxad lived for 403 years. He had other sons and daughters. When Shelah was 30 years old, he became the father of Eber. After Eber was born, Shelah lived for 403 years. He had other sons and daughters. When Eber was 34 years old, he became the father of Peleg. After Peleg was born, Eber lived for 430 years. He had other sons and daughters. When Peleg was 30 years old, he became the father of Ru. After Ru was born, Peleg lived for 209 years. He had other sons and daughters. When Ru was 32 years old, he became the father of Serug. After Serug was born, Ru lived for 207 years. He had other sons and daughters. When Serug was 30 years old, he became the father of Nahor. After Nahor was born, Serug lived for 200 years. He had other sons and daughters. When Nahor was 29 years old, he became the father of Terah. After Terah was born, Nahor lived for 119 years. He had other sons and daughters. After Terah was 7 years old, he became the father of Aram, Nahor, and Haran. Terah's family. This is the report about Terah and his family. Terah became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran became the father of Lot. While Terah was still alive, his son Haran died. Haran died in Uru, the land of Chaldeans. That is where Haran had been born. Abram married Sarai. Nahor married Milcah. Milcah was Haran's daughter. Haran was the father of Milcah and Iscah. Sarai could not give birth to children. She did not have any children. Terah took his son Abram and his grandson Lot. Lot was Haran's son. Terah also took Abram's wife Sarai. They all left Uru, the land of Chaldeans. They began to go to Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they stayed there. Terah lived for 205 years. Then he died in Haran. Genesis 12. Abram leaves Haran. The Lord had said to Abram, "Leave your country and the people of your father's family. Go to the land that I will show you. I will cause your descendant to become a great nation. I will bless you. Everyone will know your name. You will bring my blessing to other people. I will bless those people who bless you, but I will curse anyone who insults you. Through you, I will bless all the family of people on the earth." Abram did what the Lord had told him. He left Haran. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Lot went with him. Abram took his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot. He took everything that belonged to them. He also took the people that worked for them in Haran. They all left to go to the land of Canaan. When they arrived in Canaan, Abram worked through the land. He went as far as Shechem, to the special oak tree of Moreh. At that time, Canaanites lived in this land. The Lord appeared to Abram there. He said, I will give this land to your descendants. So Abram built an altar in that place to worship the Lord. He did that because the Lord had appeared to him. Then Abram left Shechem. He went to the hill that are one of the east of Bethel. He put up his tent in that place. Bethel was toward the east, and Ai was toward the east. Abram also built an altar there to worship the Lord. Abram took his tent and he left the place. He continued to travel toward the Negev. Abram and Sarai in Egypt. There was a famine in the land of Canaan, so Abram went to live in Egypt for a time because the famine was very bad. And Abram was going to arrive in Egypt. He said to his wife Sarai, listen to me. I know that you are a very beautiful woman. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is Abram's wife. Then they will kill me, but they will let you live. So tell them that you are my sister. Then they will do good things to me because they want to please you. They will not kill me because they will think that you are my sister. When Abram arrived in Egypt, the people saw that Sarai was beautiful, very beautiful woman. The king's officers saw her. They told Pharaoh that she was very beautiful. They took her to the king's palace. Pharaoh did good things to help Abram because of Sarai. He gave Abram a sleep. He gave Abram sheep, cows, donkeys, and camels. He also gave Abram male servant and female servant. But the Lord made Pharaoh and the people in his palace very ill. The Lord did this because the king had taken Abram's wife Sarai. So Pharaoh called Abram to come to him. Pharaoh said, you have done these bad things to me. You did not tell me that Sarai is your wife. Why not? You told me Sarah is my sister. As a result, I took her to be my wife. Now, here is your wife. Take her and go away. Pharaoh told his officer what to do with Abram. They sent Abram away with his wife and everything that belonged to them. Genesis 13. Abram and Lot separate. Abram left Egypt and he traveled north to the Negev. He took his wife and everything that belonged to him. Lot also went with him. Abram had many valuable things. He had many cows and much silver and gold. Then Abram left the Negev and he went to a different place. Then he arrived at Bethel. He returned to the place where he had put up his tent before. The place was between Bethel and Ai. It was where Abram had first built an altar to Lord, worship the Lord. Lot was traveling with Abram. Lot also had many cows, sheep, and tents. But the ground could not grow enough food for all of them to eat. They could not all live together in the same place because they had so many animals and people with them. Abram's shepherds and Lot's shepherds began to quarrel with each other. At the time, Canaanites and Perizzites also lived in the land. Abram said to Lot, "We must not quarrel with each other. Your shepherds and my shepherds must not quarrel with each other. Remember that we belong to the same family. Look everywhere. There is enough land for all of us. We must separate from one another. If you go to the left, I will go to the right. If you go to the right, I will go to the left." Lot looked up and he saw that flat land of Jordan as far as Jordan. He saw that it has lots of water like the sun garden of the Lord. It is good land like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed the cities there called Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the valley of the Jordan River. He traveled toward the east. Abram stayed in the land of Canaan, and he lived there. But Lot lived near the cities that were in the Jordan Valley. He put up his tent near the city called Sodom. The people of Sodom were very bad. They did not obey the Lord at all. After Lot had gone away, the Lord said to Abram, "Stand where you are and look all around. Look to the north, the south, the east, and the west. I will give you all the land that you can see. I will give it to you and your descendants. It will belong to them forever. I will make your descendants become very many, like the dust of the ground. People will not be able to count them all. Go and travel around all this land. Look at it, because I am giving it to you." So Abram moved his tent. He went to live near the special oak tree of Mamre. That place is at Hebron. Abram built an altar for worship to the Lord there. Abram at war with the kings. Now there were many kings living in that land at that time. They fought against each other. One fight was when Kedorlaomer had ruled over the other kings for 12 years. And in the next year, 5 kings made one group like that and fought against him. Kedorlaomer joined with 3 other kings, so it was 4 kings against 5 other kings. The 4 kings were Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arico, king of Elasar, Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Kedar king of Goim. Those kings fought war against Bera king of Sodom, Bershal king of Gomorrah, Shinab king of Adama, Shember king of Jedoim, and king of Bela. Bela is another name of the town called Jor. They fought in the valley of Shittim. There is the Salt Sea. In the 14th year, Kedar and the kings with him won against the Rephites. This was in Ashtaroth, Karnaim. They won against the Jujites in Ham. They won against the Emites in Shaveh, Kiriataim, and they won against the Horathites in country of Seir. This was far as El Paran near the desert. Then they went back. They went to Mishpah. That is Kadesh. They took the whole land of the Amalekites. They also took the land of Amorites who were living in Hazezon Tamar. Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Jedoim, and the king of Bela, that is Jor, went to fight. There is the valley of Siddim. They fought against Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, Kedar, king of Goim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar. There were 4 kings fighting against 5 kings. The valley of Siddim and had many holes in the ground. The holes were filled with tar. The king of Sodom and Gomorrah ran away. Some of their men fell into the deep tar. The other men ran away to the hills. The 4 kings took everything in Sodom and Gomorrah, including all the food. Then they went away. Abram's nephew Lot was living in Sodom at that time. So they took him away from there and everything that belonged to him. Abram and Melchizedek. At that time, Abram, the Hebrew man, was living near the special oak tree of Mamre. Mamre was an Amorite. He was the brother of Eshcol and Aner. This man had agreed to the Abram's friend. A man ran away from Sodom. He told Abram everything that had happened. Abram understood that the king had caught his nephew, so he called those 380 men to come together. These men had been born in Abram's camp and they knew how to fight. Abram took his men with him. They went to attack the man who had caught Lot. They went as far as Dan. During the night, Abram separated his men into 2 groups. Then they attacked Kedorlaomer and his men who had taken Lot. Those men ran away, and Abram followed them as far as Soban. Hobah is north of Damascus. Abram took back everything that those men had taken from Sodom. He also brought back his nephew Lot, together with the woman and the other people. In that way, Abram won against Kedorlaomer and the king with him. As Abram was returning home, the king of Sodom came up to meet him. They met in the valley of Sharveh, which people call the King's Valley. Melchizedek was the king of Salem, and he was the priest of the Most High God. He brought out bread and wine for Abram. He blessed Abram. He said, I pray that the Most High God, who made heaven and earth, will bless Abram. Praise the Lord. Praise the God who ruled over all. He has given you power over your enemies. After that, Abram gave Melchizedek a tenth part of everything. Then the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give back to me all my people. Take everything else for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have made a strong promise to the Lord, the Most High God, who made heaven and earth. I promised that I would not take anything that belonged to you. I will not take the smallest things, even a piece of string or part of a shoe. Then you will never be able to say, I made Abram become rich. I myself will accept on the food that my young men have eaten. But Anar, Eshcol, and Mamre went with me to help me to fight. They should take their part of the things that we brought back with us.